Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to KwingsLetsPlays and more of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles live, brought to you by our friends over at Capcom. So, we had the Comcast guy come, and actually he's going to be our technician from now on, because they're not going to send anybody else. This guy knows what he's talking about, he's a gamer. Let's see if he was able to fix it. So, what's going on today is we are starting the fifth and final case of the first game, the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, and then sometime next week, because I've heard this is a very long case, we will be doing the Resolve game, which takes place several years later with an older Naruhodo and Susie. So, when we last left off, we were introduced to Susie's and Naruhodo's new detective agency, or not detective agency, lawyer firm or whatever, inside of the great Sherlock Holmes's apartment in London on Baker Street. So, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do this.
So we talked to Susie a lot and found out that for whatever reason it's been several months and they haven't had a new case, as well as the Reaper is completely gone. The Reaper of the Bailey has not appeared in court in some time. So,
Nice.
yep. It's time to go see what Sherlock Holmes is up to. And it is Sherlock Holmes. Let's just get that out of the way, okay?
It's Sherlock Holmes in Japanese.
Yeah, they had
They
to...
switched it for English, but I don't think we would actually get copyright from it.
No, they changed it in the game. In Japan, he's always known as Sherlock Sholmes. They did it on purpose because of, you know.
Oh.
There's Iris. Hello, Iris.
Oh. Good morning, Runo. Morning, Susie.
Oh, no.
Oh, good morning, Iris.
Sherlock Holmes playing the violin.
But I don't know if that sounds very good.
Iris?
What is it, Runo?
What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. It's a violin being played horribly.
Oh, yes. You noticed that, did you?
Who wouldn't?
Holly is in the best form this morning, it seems. Isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Good morning. Good morning to, Di, perhaps? Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable and, well, you were playing the violin before and it was, well, bad.
It sounded sad.
Huh? My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Darn this balanced existence! That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, please, if it's not too much trouble. Kitty!
Meow.
Wait, is that the cat that's from,
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, look, it's,
Wagahai?
Wagahai? What?
I don't know, Wagahai? Oh, good morning, Wagahai. Good morning.
Meow.
Meow.
That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get here? Yeah, isn't it all the way from, someone else's house?
Well then, everyone, time for breakfast.
Like, how far away does the Garadeb family live from, Baker Street? I mean, they had to take a carriage to get there, remember?
Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I would need to be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Are you going back to play your violin again? Please don't. Something's missing from Sholmes' desk. I'm not used to him being this depressed. He's a very energetic character. And they kind of made him, well, not, so. Wanting to die. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened exactly? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. It's...
Meliscissant?
That's a...
Meliscissant?
Is that a music term or French?
Meliscent, actually, that's what it says. Meliscent.
Ah.
I don't know.
Its beautiful sounds would make flowers bloom.
I think it could be a musical term, I just don't know it.
Okay. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddess of music has thrown me over.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
For hours I have bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone. Gone forever! No more recitals or unbridled emotion!
Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley?
I don't think he's had a case in 2 months either. I think he's gone kind of like a little batty. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in no time, Sholmes. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddess of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, that's not good. Ugh, why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, I am left for pity's sake. What is left? Your detective agency? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for?
The missing machine.
Oh, yeah. It's Susie again.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but...
Dun, 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 dun.
Your desk looks rather empty today.
Ah, well done, Miss Susie. Your observation skills do you credit.
Oh no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale in insignificance when compared to yours.
You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you, Susie?
You mean Hurley's great analytical scope that is at Windy Banks now?
Sorry, it's at Windy Bank, what?
No, Windy Banks, the pawnbrokery.
The what now?
Pawn? What?
You mean you've pawned that enormous machine off of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. They haven't worked in a while.
Oh, but this isn't it a very important machine for your work?
It's still Susie.
I do wish you had consulted us if your situation has become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you.
Dear madam, things are far from desperate.
But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate?
Making use of pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? Doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawn breaking works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? He's so depressed. This is...
He is depressed.
What do you mean when you say we didn't fully understand how pawnbrokery works? Or broking? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks.
Banks?
On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings of their pawnbroker of chance. With the money they receive in return, They are able to trade happily through the week.
Oh, and then on Saturdays, when they go to recover their things, using the money they have earned.
I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us.
Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London.
And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Wait, where's his jacket? Did he lose his stuff too?
Oh, how ingenious.
So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windybanks, you see.
Pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? So it's like a bank, basically.
Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it.
What does that mean?
Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley?
What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Wow, okay, well, that's not good. So I guess we need to... Who else can we talk to? May as well examine the apartment, I guess. Maybe something will pop up. Let's check the fire. She is so tiny! Holy cow!
She's really small.
The fire is burning comfortably in the gate once again. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese fire somehow.
Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting.
Is that supposed to mean something to me? The woman trophy. Let's see. Anything else to click on? Oh, there we go. There's all sorts of these shelves. Chemistry, apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Oh, it's such a charming, untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it, Ryunosuke?
It just looks messy to me, like my desk.
But you, Mr. Naruhodo, you must learn to tidy up after yourself.
No favoritism there then, huh? Dun, 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 dun. These are all mementos of Mr. Holmes' past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if my beefsteak from Le Carnaval would have been on display here as well.
A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, and some mysterious dancing men. A bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an entrancing collection.
It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me. Rather like what's on my own shelves.
Well, you really ought to learn to keep things in order, Mr. Naruhodo.
No favoritism there at all. Alright. So... we could talk to her. Ah! The tea set. It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy, with an equally sturdy lock.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did they come to that conclusion, huh? Okay. So, the case is Napoleon's bust. So, we can talk to Iris. What else can we look at? Oh, wow! Look at Iris's office. Her stuff is very neat. Just like Susie.
She has hearts all over everything.
Iris' beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain.
Oh, the English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea.
And what do we have here? Probably where she writes her stuff. This is where Iris notes down her ideas. Let me see. What does it say today? Ah! The Bascombe Valley mystery, I think.
I don't know. Boscombe Valley. Oh, how intriguing! It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my! I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us.
Susie looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine. Wow.
Probably.
Probably. And that's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles, too. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems.
Science is the future, Mr. Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well.
Law, chemistry, takedown throws. What diverse skills you boast, Miss Susie.
As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list.
No, they're definitely worthy of something. A trip to the chiropractor. Alright, so what else of hers can we look at? Oh, she still has her typewriter. Ah! Oh, something just saved. I guess this is what they want us to look at.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently because Holmes hasn't had a case in 2 months, you goof. But there's paper already set in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start. I actually think they don't really make money off his detective agency. I think that she's making money based on her writing, and she hasn't had anything to deliver in a while either, because there's been no new cases.
Interesting, Luke.
That's my hypothesis.
That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsumi was most impressed.
Ah, yes, Mr. Natsumi.
That's what I'll be doing too, once I'm back in Japan, he said. Though through tightly clenched fists and teeth.
Okay, it looks like we've looked at everything we can, so now let's go to Holmes' side of the room, which is pretty bare and very messy. So we've done this. This all counts, this all counts. He has a random skull there, that's disturbing. It doesn't look like he's working on any cases. There's his chemistry set. Try that. Oh, look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it?
We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite.
That's scarily plausible, actually. Alright, so everything's gone. So now... Oh, wait. I thought I saw something light up. Does not appear so. Nope. Okay. So we're gonna go talk to Iris. Iris! What's going on, Iris? The cat. Mr. Natsumi's cat seems to have settled into his new home then, I suppose.
Well, Hagai.
Oh, yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy.
Okay, she calls him Waggy.
Humph. It would appear his previous owner has completely forgotten to him. Oh, cats are unfeeling creatures. Their meows are empty as the hearts of the muses. Oh, it's so cute.
If Mr. Natsumi had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
I expect he would have taken him if he could have, but pets are strictly forbidden aboard the steamships in our experience. So he got the cat here in London.
Oh.
It's a London cat.
And for good reason! Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed!
That's true.
Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable.
Oh!
So cute.
I know. Yes, he really is. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that thing come from?
Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Bruno. Look, I resist. It's my latest invention.
What? What is that?
I call it the cat floppomat.
The what?
Cat floppomat.
Gosh! A machine for making doors just for cats?
That's right. It can make a cat flop for a furry little friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it for any door tool, no matter what it is made of. very powerful, you see?
Wouldn't that have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap?
Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like.
I mean, I don't know if people will necessarily like you destroying their doors, but alright.
Oh, I think it's wonderful! You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris.
She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Uh-oh. She's gonna make a cat flap in our office. Okay. Oh no! The cat!
Oh, what was that?
Whoa!
Wiggy!
Oh my gosh! Uh-oh. What was that?
Oh no! Waggy's tangled up in your violin!
I think he thinks it's a toy!
No! What's he doing to it?
Oh dear! Mr. Sholmes' precious violin!
Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. Oh! If the cat is more accomplished musician than I... Oh!
Wow. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he?
Well, anyway, I put it back where it lives. Shall I, Hurley?
Out of the cat's reach if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Oh my gosh. Alright, so Holmes is all messed up. Let's see if we can find the violin. Oh, there it is now. The violin's there.
Yep.
So this is the violin, is it? It's Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian,
Antonio Stradivari.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know what his name is, Luthieri or something.
Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me.
It is.
It happened upon it, covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley.
You can get like up to like $36 million for a Stradivarius.
Oh my gosh.
It's really, really, really expensive. Some of them are even billions of dollars.
Oh my gosh. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it's been my faithful companion in every great, inspired performance I have made.
Paganini.
I don't know musical terms.
I know, but I do.
I ask you, is there reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this balanced existence? No! There is none!
Mr. Sholmes?
What, my dear madam? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with frenzies of release from this dull routine.
Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What?
What do you mean, Susie? It's not his normal violin?
Oh, Susie's right. Yes, the tune of the wood has come...
Oh, his violin was stolen!
Oh my gosh!
And replaced with a cheap knockoff.
That's why he can't play it very well.
That's why it doesn't sound good anymore.
Oh my gosh.
That's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before.
Wait, it's not even the right size, is it?
Someone replaced his
What's
violin.
this?
Oh man. He's out of a lot of money. I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't even a violin at all.
Then what? It's viola.
I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola.
Aha! What? What? Nani?
Wait, why did they stole it?
Yeah, they stole it.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
You're right. You are quite right, Susie. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of stringed flotsam?
Flotsam?
Flotsam. I don't know. Not your faithful performing partner, then? No.
Oh, I see what amiss must be happening.
You do, Iris?
Indeed, this is just a simple mix-up.
It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Oh, the music's all happy now. Alright, Iris, what's going on? The mix-up. What do you mean by mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this violin, this viola, was at Windybanks until last week.
At the pawnbrokers?
Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner? There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel.
Yes, indeed.
So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers and hoped that it would experience personal growth?
Oh, what a wonderful idea!
Last week I pawned my great, analytical scope in order to release my precious violin. But it would appear Mr. Windybank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw, fine state of affairs that is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbreaker. They will try to fiddle you every time.
But earlier you told us you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault.
Well, now he changed his mind. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry, what? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, freshing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are now faced?
We must visit Mr. Windybank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes?
Precisely, Miss Susie. Without a moment's delay, the game is afoot. But, I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with increasingly vacant aspect? To fresh your egg even more obtusely? Alright, say no more. Let's go then. I was stuffed anyway.
Don't worry, Runo. I'll be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Oh, well, thank you, Iris. Wait, how are they going to keep the food from spoiling? As it happens, I'm rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker looks like.
Yeah, where's she gonna store it? Maybe in an icebox?
Did they have ice boxes back in the,
I don't know what decade we're in.
Victorian?
Yeah, they had ice. They had boxes with huge blocks of ice. And then the Victorian era, fun fact, from watching all these documentaries, the Victorian era actually, I believe, if I'm right about this, I could be wrong, but I believe it introduced the first refrigerator, but people started dying from the refrigerators because basically they would blow these chemicals into the fridge.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, you know how today the chemicals go through our fridge in tubes? Well, that's not how the first fridges worked. They actually would put the chemicals on the food and then, like, people would die.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it would be better to use an icebox than one of the early refrigerators.
Alright, let's go to Baker Street.
You like my fun facts!
Ow!
Yay. Sorry.
Okay, so we're on Baker Street, the famous Baker Street. Wait, is this... I think this is Holmes' house, actually. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. What a beautiful building.
Yep.
I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things to turn out quite like this.
Oh, I know! To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective... If I ever find myself before a court of law, I will have not one regret.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Oh, I hope Susie's not gonna end up... I don't think she does, but you never know. I mean, Maya ended up on trial. Phoenix ended up on trial twice. Edgy ended up on trial.
Rebecca says, thanks, Amber. I didn't know that. You're welcome, Rebecca. Dr. Clue says, Amber, fun facts. Yeah, the first fridges were really dangerous, so, yeah.
Look at all the different things in the window of the shop.
Ah, that's Windibank's, the pawnbrokery.
It looks much smarter than a pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it?
Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable, personally.
That reminds me of tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo.
I miss my pen. Okay, so this is... Apparently the pawnbroker is right next door to Holmes' office, more or less.
There's like a thing above the door. It has like a little sign, like above. Not that door, but the other door.
This one?
The one over there. No, the stone one where you have to push the arrow. Above the light. Above that little symbol above the door. There. Oh, I thought if you go higher, doesn't it have a thing? Oh, no, it doesn't. I thought that was a thing.
No, I mean, it's good to look, though.
Oh, I thought that I could say something.
The famous Baker Street. Alright, so...
Yeah, where Sherlock Holmes is supposed to have lived. Oh, I wonder if Sherlock Holmes was based on a real person in real life or not.
I don't know. It's possible he might have been based on, like, someone from the Yard.
I don't know.
Scotland Yard. Alright, inside we go.
Oh, great to see you guys. Kiri, OH, VG Shine, Silver Leo, Keyblade, everybody.
Windibank's Pawnbrokery. So basically, the Windibreaks pawn shop. Wow, look at all the stuff they have in here.
Yeah.
So this is a British pawnbrokery?
Oh my! There are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before.
Uh-oh.
What?
Nothing. Dropping a little bit.
Ah, Susato.
I got it. Ah, Susie, that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this, don't you?
Ah, yes. And I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here.
Wait, he's back in a good mood?
Yep.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes!
We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. Alright, 1 second, guys. How's it playing back for you? Fine?
Fine so far. Ugh, we just had the cable guy come.
Yeah, and they just inspected the lines.
Yeah, look,
I have to get the time and what's happening. So it's 5:22, because they'll be back on Friday. Seems like the stream quality is okay so far, I guess. Let us know how it is, guys and gals. Like for you. We're calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of his fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yeah, I mean, we're potential customers after all, are we not? We are distinguished customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Windibank of our ire. Come! The fight is afoot! Okay. Are we talking to this guy? The violin.
Yeah, we have to get our violin back, dude. That's a lot of money. Stradivarius stuff is extremely rare. Yep.
Naturally, you will recall that this is which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes? This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windibank.
Yeah.
The color of the wood is different, it has holes in it, and it even is not the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Holmes. Sholmes. Yeah, dude.
I'm so very sorry, sir. I'm utterly unforgivable of me, an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. He ran away. What? Wah!
Oh!
I shall have to take my life!
What? Dude!
I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? It was you, sir, Mr. Holmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe? Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, oh, here it is. You did? And when I turned to convert with you, you had taken the vial and left.
Oh.
Oh. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, dear fellow. The fault is mine. Whew. This guy's serious, isn't he?
It would appear that this fight is over.
I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Incidentally, my questionable disposition, participated?
Disposition precipitated.
Precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Holmes without, that questionable disposition now, would you? Aha! I do believe you may be right, sir. Aha! Ha 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 ha! It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needed to remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past.
Oh, peculiar items?
In the extreme, ma'am, for example, the unpublished manuscript of a,
eponymous work?
I think that's like anonymous work.
Oh.
The novels of Sherlock Holmes of, some such.
Oh my! A new full-fledged novel? An unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean?
Oh, forgive me!
Wait, before you die, you have to tell me some more!
Unpublished story.
Why, before he dies, like... Thank you for the super chat, Silver Leo. You're breathtaking.
It's Susie.
It sounds normal for us small shop workers. Thanks for the super chat, Silver Leo. Really appreciate that. I must know more. Tell me everything.
Wow, Susie is really fired up now.
Oh, and also, guys, I didn't do my Monster Hunter stories this morning because I was cleaning and all. Yeah, I was waiting for the guy to come, cable guy. Is there really an unpublished story under its very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought it in the old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust to you this care for a while, Mr. Winterbank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more?
Farthing, yep.
It houses something very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Sherlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. And such Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life.
Dude.
This is very strange indeed. Alright, the pawnbrokery. So what happened to the Stradivarius? I wonder, could I ask you something, please? A gentleman from the East, I see. Yes, that would be, sable suit, I suppose. I could offer you, 6 for it. Without, wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha! But before your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my! 5 guineas, you say?
For her robe? Her kimono?
How interesting!
Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Because he said your sword is only worth, like, little money. Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard you say that pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Or rather, people have told me that's what you are. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise your items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. Wow.
But what happens if they don't pay you all the money back?
Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, ma'am. That's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all!
Oh my gosh.
Wow. The very idea of Mr. Windibank is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually, says the man who was telling us all it was the day for him to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what type of measures? I engineered a simple device which Windibank has installed here in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? Aha! What was that deep sigh about? The Red-Handed Recorder. What on earth is the Red-Handed Recorder, Mr. Sholmes? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are just 2 below the ceiling. Huh?
I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device.
I need to take a picture of that. Sorry, guys.
We're having, internet problems. Or dropped, I don't know what we're having. Luke is supposed to take a picture and show Comcast, because they were here and, like, they were like, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
They were like, just take a picture if it happens again. It's already happened twice.
Alright. Sorry. Very astute, Susie. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here I have an example I can show you. Fascinating.
Oh.
Ah, yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop and counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and door behind it. Look. Whoops, that was Susie.
Oh, that's alright.
So you see, were someone to enter the premise with ill intent, his identity would be summarily, it would be exposed.
Summarily I don't know what that word is.
It's really hard to do that in an accent.
But did you not say the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
Then what if the incident were to occur in between those times?
One could say that would be a cruel twist of fate. Wow. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause of distress of late. I beg your pardon, sir. Surely they're anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of film, sir. You must graciously place not one, but 2 cameras in my shop, after all, which means I must pay for nigh 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Ah. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Okay. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing! Thank you, Mr. Windibank.
That looks pretty.
Perhaps this might mark the end of peculiar items you try to pop, because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer! I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not! Sorry. I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be armed. That's not really what I meant, but alright. Good day to you then, Mr. Windibank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Holmes. Sholmes?
So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last.
Oh, we get to look at a shop. Alright. Alright, so we talked to him. All the clocks on the wall. Oh, he has a sign here. Look at that enormous ledger open on the account. Oh, whoops, sorry.
Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there.
Counter. Mr. Windibank is nothing less, but very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself in all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far from the ledge there. The pistol. This revolver here. Ah, do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. Huh? I assure you, my Windibank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with speed bellowing his portly size.
Oh, you don't mean he'd...
Blow his brains out? Indeed. In recompense for his blunder?
Oh my! But in any case, of course, he would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it?
Alright. Dun, 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 dun.
What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are fortified items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn or pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Oh, yeah, now that you've explained it, I'm noticing a little price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never. It embodies my student spirit. Okay.
Also, it's the only thing you have to wear.
Yeah, that too. That's kind of an important thing.
I was wondering if they pawned Susato's outfit. That's all she wears every day.
I mean, they could probably get her another outfit, like from London, that would be cheaper. But yeah, her kimono is very important to her. She wears it all the time.
Yeah, I don't think she would want to wear something else. Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
It seems to have 2 little windows for looking through. Ah, allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at here is a stereoscope.
A stereo... Fascinating!
It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment. Well, I just have a look.
Just before you do, there is something I should point out. What is that? My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is a little consequence today. Huh?
Alright then, I'm gonna try it.
You have to be cross-eyed to use it?
Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see at once!
Huh? Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed like I'm trying to look at my nose? Isn't that a juror we've seen? What the?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
It is.
It's just a photograph of print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. There are often found little stalls in the park. People, what?
Q? I don't know.
I guess it would be Q. People queue for hours to see them.
Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic?
Ah, it is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Okay.
Oh!
Alright. What else is there to look at? Oh, there's a calendar. Ah!
Look at this! Whatever could it be used for?
I have no idea.
Ah! There's a small catch here. Just look.
We're gonna open it, aren't we?
You bet ya, Ryunosuke. Oh my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism.
Which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before. Oops. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. Nope, nothing at all. Everything's fine. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this before. Okay, so we weren't able to look at that. I love how they're very adventurous. They're fun.
Yeah.
Calendar. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? April 15th. Today's date. Yes. That's not for... Yeah, that's not for sale, I must point out. It's an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. Well, obviously. The perfect calendar for a terror fellow such as yourself, Mr. Windibank. And who is it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayments, articles are fortified, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Oh, yes. I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
I also noticed that some of the drops in frames happened when he put the pistol to his head.
Oh, wow.
It's something to consider. Alright, look out the window.
Wow, that's weird. 3 globes of gold! Or is it some kind of charm?
Dear me, have you not seen that sign before? Nope, never. The 3 golden balls are in Great Britain at least, the universal sign of pawnbrokery. There are more than 700 such establishments in the capital, all showing this same sign. Oh, I see. Oh, I had not imagined your ignorance was so profound.
Oh, well, what is the significance of 3 golden balls then? Does it have the same special meaning?
Well, that is entirely unimportant here, dear madam. Irrelevant, even. You mean you don't know, is what you're trying to say. Alright. Anything else to look at?
Sorry, I'm so fidgety.
You're always fidgety, Ambi. Seriously, if I would have known you in school and seen you moving around this much, I would swear you had ADD.
Oh, I moved around in school a lot. I used to draw on my desk all the time too.
Yeah.
And my teacher got super angry at me.
Oh, I would say so.
Look at this! What could this lovely big shiny box be?
Looks like a... Ah, that, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have seen such things in your own country?
Oh my, yes! But I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while? Oh, we get to hear music now.
Ah, what a sublime sound! It's like the music of angels!
I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside in which the notes to be played or recorded. Simply by placing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness! What a simply delightful machine!
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Ha! Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace.
Yes, quite right. What? Only 10 for it? That ain't fair, you know it? This article's barely worth a penny. Oh, that's a woman, sorry.
Wait.
This article's barely worth a penny, miss. I can't offer more. Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter.
Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it?
I've seen all I wanted to see, young girl. Oh, it's her again.
Oh, that's the girl.
Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her.
Murderer!
No.
Oh, yes, it's the young lady from Miss Gilded's trial 2 months ago.
Mr. McGilded.
Mr. McGilded.
You said Mrs. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. That's commonly called a pickpocket. Yep, that's her again. She looks like she's down on her luck at the moment, too. Even for a thief.
Gordon Bennett, you lot!
Oh, she has her smoke grenade thing
Hello,
again.
Miss Lestrade. I hope you have been well.
Hey, what? You remember me then, do ya?
Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure.
So, what are you doing in here? Down and out, like the rest of us, nothing to eat. Come to pop the black weasel. Sorry coat, have ya?
What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? It's very out of place. Ah, good day, unless I'm mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes!
So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf.
Oh, pull the other one. I don't need no help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business, go on, or I'll make trouble for ya.
As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He fades into nothing. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc?
And you, go on, leave me alone.
Oh, Miss Lestrade. Just pretend we aren't here, okay? We shan't be offended in the slightest.
She's amused.
What?
Susie can really stand her ground when she wants to, I suppose.
Whatever.
Alright. Well. Wait, why can we click on stuff again?
I don't know.
That's weird.
This is very interesting because in the Victorian era, they did have a lot of weird new inventions. So this is completely Victorian era stuff. Like,
yep.
All these interesting things. I'm pretty sure that thing that they were talking about, a musical box where you could put different discs in with different holes in them so the music would play different things. I'm pretty sure that's a real invention from the Victorian era. I think I've seen something like that before. But yeah, they had all kinds of new inventions happening. Like that whole like photographic print thing, that like 3D, that thing that they were viewing, like that you had to actually peer into the box to view. I believe that, I can't remember what that was called, but it was like a 3D picture that would almost like, it was almost like move when you look through it. You would almost like see the whole, like, it was almost like Luke. Think of it like the Virtual Boy or whatever. So it was like virtual 3D, but it wasn't like in the Victorian era. So, I mean, some of this stuff is really interesting, I think.
I know. I mean, this game is really fascinating, actually. Alright. The pawnbroker's customer. Somehow I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, well, I am right. I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That a problem, is it?
No, not at all. It's just that, well...
Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. You think he probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy face. Well,
I might have been thinking something along those lines, yes, but...
She can tell. You're not gonna deny it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Alright then. I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight, alright? Do you pawn things that you steal from other people?
Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really.
Wow.
I suppose sometimes.
Wow.
You're not gonna deny it either, Miss Lestrade?
But not this time, alright? I swear! That thing belongs to me!
Oh, does it now? The disc that Mr. Windibank is holding, huh? Perhaps we should have, see what it is. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about this. Okay, so... we have to examine, talk to him again. Her disc.
Mr. Windibank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? I think it's a disc for one of those musical things.
It seems to have... oh.
It seems to have hundreds of tiny bumps on its surface. It's probably for a musical thing.
Well, this is a music disc, you see, for inside a music box. A music box?
What? You don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh?
It would be tisk.
I don't know how to say tisk as a...
Tisk.
That's not how you say that. It would be like...
No. No. You would say it like tisk.
That's not a word. Nobody says that.
I have heard people say tisk. I have.
That's how you say it.
Nope. No.
There is no such thing.
It doesn't,
nobody uses that as an expression.
It doesn't sound like a hi-hat. No.
That's the thing.
No.
That's how I interpret it.
No, that's wrong.
That's what it means.
I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one of these discs before, okay? A small metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music will play.
It's so incredible! Tell us, what tune is on this disc?
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that.
You'd have to play it.
There are many different types of music box, you see. British-made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. I see. And that, in a nutshell, I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny.
That's a pocket of lies! He told me he did. He said it was... What?
He who?
You never mind. It just ain't right, that's all. This disc is worth good money. I know it is.
Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? Gina Lestrade. She's been in here before, of course. This little, tatterdemalion? Dandelion? I don't know.
Tatterdemalion?
I see. And I brought some dubious article off her, every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me.
Right. So, is there anything dubious about the disc that she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean? Well, what she actually brought in was a storage ticket.
Ah, a storage ticket? So, Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me. There's a lot of stuff what needing storage and all that.
Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious. Okay, I can understand that. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight. But as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her.
But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windibank.
The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh.
What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this?
Ah, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree on a price. A new article to pawn. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought it in a storage ticket today. It really is quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat which you returned to her, as I understood it? Yes, that's right. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. Oh, you mean...
What? Do you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Oh, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
If you mean this disc, then yes. Exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it.
For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think.
Yep. Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask you who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me.
Doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me old man! It's me old man's overcoat, ain't it? Is it, Miss Lestrade, though?
Yeah, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Dun-dun-dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Out of my way, please! Oh.
Whoa.
And who's this, picture-perfect, English gentleman? Looks like a postcard. Oh boy. Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen.
What's your problem, eh?
There is no problem as long as you remove yourself. I've a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for hiding you deserve.
Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line.
Agreed.
Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket.
Hey? Who are you? How do you know I am?
The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
What? You mean I from you?
Broker? Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pickpocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Oh my! Now that's a lie! What are you trying to pull? No! You can't have it! No! You can't have it! You just can't! It's me old man's! Or it was! It's mine now!
Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation.
Yeah, it is. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little bit more detail. Careful, honey.
Sorry.
The gentleman's accusation.
Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying.
Huh?
Is what the gentleman is saying true?
What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before.
Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now,
No, I swear it. I swear.
It was barely an hour ago I was walking along the street minding my own business when this little gutter sling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these black slum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, shall I have no choice but to call the constable?
Hold on. What's everything? Why is everything one thing it's me?
What? Try that again.
It doesn't matter. Why does everyone think it's me?
There you go.
Just look at this dandy cove. And you think I'm the dodgy one.
I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you.
Well, what about evidence? Yeah? Where's your evidence that I stole something, eh? Come on, let's see it now.
Oh, I have evidence, naturally.
You what?
Evidence. Alright.
Evidence.
Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman?
Wait, maybe she is telling the truth. Maybe
we'll
this
find
guy
out.
is lying.
Of course! We need only consult Mr. Windebag's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place.
Yes, that's brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh!
I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. Why? But why not?
I know, right?
Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have, circumstances to consider. Right. Okay.
So they're
Yeah. A great many of them prefer to maintain their,
anonymity.
anonymity, their secrets.
Yes, I see. But then how can you not know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it?
Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for your watchword associated with the article in question? Oh, of course. It's... Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without a doubt. A watchword? Interesting. Say what now? Watchwords.
The coat looks good on her, though, to be honest.
It looks like it actually fits her, yeah. So about these watchwords, Mr. Windibank. As I just explained, I've never asked customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it?
Great detectives have no dark secrets, none at all.
Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like a secret combination of the numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, description, and watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article. Is that correct? Precisely, yes. Just as soon as they requisite the fee, of course. And I have supplied you with the information you require already, but for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on February 15th. With a watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir.
But how?
Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no other room for doubt.
Gah.
Well, got you there.
Well, it's hard for me not to believe the guy, even though he seems kind of pretentious. I think the stuff does belong to him.
Probably. Alright, still need to talk to this guy. Picture postcard gentleman. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We study here.
Excuse me for not being English.
Japan. I've heard of talk of the place. What are you doing?
What in the world is happening?
It inhabitants live in some fiercely brown-colored soup dressed up with exotic spices.
What?
You might be thinking of somewhere else. And that's what was the theatrical thing about? Perhaps anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring after the name of another. Of course, yes, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, student of law, really.
My name is Susato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant.
I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Egbert Benedict. Eggs Benedict?
Eggs Benedict.
Enchanté. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. He made it up.
Yeah, I don't think that's his real name.
No, I don't think so. Now to the matter at hand. My overcoat, return it at once to someone with style to carry it off.
Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stop watching him.
Oh, she just made a song lyric. 80s song lyric.
Every move he makes.
Yep. Thank you.
Wow.
Yep.
The coat does fit him.
So let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Egbert Benedict, sir. He acts really weird. With such reasonable rates of interest, it may even decide I may come back. Poor Gina.
This is why I hate grown-ups. It's just 'cause I'm a diver. Everyone thinks that makes me a liar.
And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, here is the disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. Another disc? Oh, oh dear, I regret to inform you, sir, that was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you?
Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute. That disc is mine.
Ah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal!
Oh my! Yes, there's blood on the disc.
It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his fingers on them.
I found it first, alright? I mean, it belongs to me, old man. So, you're not having it, or you take it.
Me?
If I hang on to it, they'll have me off again. So you keep hold of it.
Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? Probably about a murder mystery or something.
I don't know.
2 months ago. You there, in the black livery. Hand that disc back to me at once, please.
No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars. Do not hand it over.
What do I do now?
Don't hand it over.
How am I going to resolve this?
Don't hand it over. Run. I think something's wrong with him.
I think this guy might be a murderer.
It's possible, Luke.
Yeah.
Let's make Holmes make the decision.
Mr. Windbank is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something about this before he reaches for that revolver of his again. Yeah, we don't want to do that because then YouTube's gonna mess with our stream. Look at those piercing eyes. He's clearly in a mood to talk. No mood. We have to do something quickly before this mysterious gentleman leaves to fetch the police or something. Probably gonna have to talk to Sherlock Holmes. Gina's upset. Wow, Miss Lestrade is really looking daggers at that mysterious gentleman. We need to do something about this before she loses her control and attacks him again.
Maybe the guy stole it from her, someone she knows. Maybe he killed somebody and took the coat.
Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining with such keen interest over there? Are you enjoying a bar of caramel, I see? So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry. After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Cruelly ostracized as the rest of the partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So, feigning mock interest, pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this docile place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth aren't you rejoining the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Ah, yes. I overheard much of your conversation, or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you?
Poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you.
It would seem that my inferences are correct.
Oh, surely you're not about to tell us.
What?
Surely you're not about to tell us your inferences, and that you solved the entire case once again.
Thank you. My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be,
Commoditized?
I don't know. How much could I pawn for it? Sold. We'll say sold. If my genus could be sold, how much would it... Yeah. Seems Mr. Sholmes had another of his flashes of inspiration, but who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and this mysterious gentleman. Eggs Benedict. What's the right thing to do here? Oh no. We should listen to his deduction.
Yes!
3-hour stream. Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament.
Ah! Where the blue blazes have you been, eh?
Pardon? When
a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to
My
help.
word!
Straight away, not an hour later.
Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you, sir? Who am I? Mr. Eggs Benedict, was it? You have in my eyes a veritable encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I've drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawn shop today is something you have not yet revealed. Oh. And the second is this. The considerable crime in this contemplation, one you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions?
It's true.
How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg.
Sholmes is correct. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction.
Just who do you think you are, sir?
He's Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. Here we go.
Yeah, it's happening.
So, shall we begin? The time has come for another Sherlock Holmes Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Yeah.
The Great Deduction. The game is afoot.
The game is afoot.
Alright, yep, this is gonna be a long episode. The Mysterious Man's Aim. First of all, we must ask ourselves what business you ventured into this pawn shop today.
To rob it!
No. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you in secret.
Lies.
But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by which you hold in your hand. Yes. What brought you to the shop in the first place is that staff recruitment flyer. The piece of paper on your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet even the most observant would seem to realize that a man of your appearance has no need for such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. Ha! The cane which you unwittingly clutch as your person exhibits an uncontrivable contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, missing the bottom of the cane. The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal thing attached to the bottom. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip to be missing. It's utterly bare, sir. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. No. Your recoil, sir, is something wrong. And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself.
Nani?
Namely, what is the truth behind the rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you inadvertently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused, sir. What walking cane demands such stout handle? I mused. But of course, as I've said, there is no walking cane. No, that rod... is a broken handle of a shovel.
Whoa!
Are you insane? And now, having determined the undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. The true motive of coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime.
Is this true?
To tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery.
Maybe he just wanted to get a job there so he could steal stuff.
Great crime. No, he's gonna be off again, of course. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel. What on earth did you propose I could expect to find there? Some lifelong treasure, I suppose? Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do so, sir? Oh, but there is ample reason. And Amber, if you're going to do that off camera, please. Like, away from the microphone. As you are only too aware, Mr. Benedict, and your figurative glance is more telling than I could have hoped for. What? Let us continue that motive to, let us continue what a motive, let us continue what you, let us consider what your motivation would be, man. The answer is revealed by the consul note on the counter to which our eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another one, that runs under the bank of the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? Quite right. By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in the very close proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you getting at, man? In summary, sir... I think that's not a good idea, Amber.
Why?
It's gonna make you tireder. You devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us to the last final chapter of this lurid scene. With that plunder did you... With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from underground the vault of the bank, you say? Are you quite serious, sir? Having spoken with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? You're scrambled, sir. I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You'll see, the picture postcard tells us what we all need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you're quite lost, sir. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank, on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds of the great of the great event. Of course, that is top secret police information, so it is under your hat, I believe. Very interesting, Sholmes. That's the smartest thing you've said in quite a while. Alright. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the pawnbrokery puzzle.
Very interesting. Droggle says Herlock Sholmes is the name other authors use to, if they want to use Sherlock Holmes in their story.
Yep. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Impressively upbeat deduction for detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you just said about the bank over the road and what was in its vault? Indeed, sir. Though few know of its existence, and it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest of confidence. Amber.
But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact.
Whoops! Oh! And if that's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it?
Who knows now?
There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly it's because the man is a criminal.
But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you revealed that secret.
Oh! Or if he doesn't, well, maybe Mr. Windibank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. On my life, I assure you I'm not some rather unscrupulous,
Wow.
Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care.
Except we just didn't do that.
One can never be sure. What privy secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps you'll think twice before confiding in it next time, Mr. Sholmes? An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea.
And yes, Brandon, Susato does remind me of Maya. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure.
Yes, let's continue the great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape.
Yeah!
Very well, then let us start once more from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular number 2. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes.
Hold it!
Dun 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 dun. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured into the pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having the redemption of the ticket stolen you found on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what you brought to the shop in the first place. The staff recruitment flyer. So, Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job, so he could dig down through the floor.
Yes, an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault on the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, now would he?
No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is where? What did Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? What brings him here? It looks like there's something on the back.
Oh.
Take that!
Scribbled writing. Those notes were scrawled by somebody famous, and as such, are worthy of considerable sum of money. The fact that you handled the paper on which they are written on with gloves only proves my theory. Some came here today with the intention of pawning it, as much as the brokery would give you. What precisely was your intention with that, Mr. Naruhodo? Just following the natural progression of deduction, sometimes the truth hurts. Well, the truth is, well, you do not have the turn for observation or deduction. Did that hurt? Oh, yes. A lot. But... Alright, let's try this again.
I still don't quite understand why this gentleman came to Mr. Windibank's, place.
He might look smartly dressed man about town, but perhaps he's, doing something destitute? I really think, that's the only explanation.
We must stop thinking along those lines, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Well, in that case, perhaps there's something in this pawn shop that the man was looking for.
Let's look closely and see if there's anything about this person that gives us a clue. Maybe he wanted your Stradivarius.
I don't know. We need to examine this.
Oh, look at that scribble note on the back of the flyer here.
I don't believe it.
What is it?
Listen to what it says. Name Gina Lestrade, height 5'2", green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade.
Goodness!
There's even a sketch for her, hat and all. Although, if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure.
And look, the details of this shop have been written down here too. Windibank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th of April.
Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all this information on this piece of paper? Okay.
Maybe it really...
Try this again.
Maybe it really is... Maybe it is Gina's coat.
I don't know. I mean, the only thing we can present is that piece of paper, so... Try it again.
Take that!
Oh, now it's gonna work. Alright, whatever. Yes, what brought you here today in the shop in the first place is info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing on the sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertains to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery here. Uh-oh. Bad storms moving in. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is thinly veiled lie. That's right. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's pawn shop, and today, the redemption deadline for the overcoat. So you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. Huh! And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane which you have unwittingly clutched to your person exhibits an interesting contradiction. What utter rot! Had this cane for years, blah 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 blah. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing handle at the bottom. That's... what's a...
It's a metal cap, commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, the bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement, right?
Yes, exactly, and Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing from this cane.
But it doesn't actually look broken, does it?
No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil, Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious.
In other words, there's something secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather people not know about. Okay.
That seems weird. Why would it just not have a ending nub? It's missing its cane nub.
I know it's missing its cane nub.
The guy looks pretty smartly dressed, though, I have to say. I want to get some white gloves like that.
Okay. The end of this cane is just bare wood, though.
Yes, and according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, it is where the shovel blade would have been attached.
Couldn't it just be the tip fell off?
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I couldn't possibly speculate.
Okay. The front of the cane. Look here, Miss Susie. There are some letters on the handle.
Ah, yes. Those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names.
So Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean?
That's right. And the initials on this cane would obviously be EG.
AG?
Oh, AG.
Why does it feel as though that's not quite right?
Because his name is Egbert, so that doesn't make any sense. It says his initials would be EG.
There we go. Alright. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. Ah, most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Egbert Benedict? We're led to believe, sir, that your initials EB, correct? Yet in the most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An interesting contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No! You're wrong! This cane isn't! You said before that you'd had that cane for years, correct? Ugh. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Ugh.
It's true.
You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you will inadvertently tell us the answer of your next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, Your reaction betrays the truth, sir. The handle of which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed the fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him.
But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue.
And now what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat possibly can't belong to him. So there's something wrong with the overcoat.
Maybe there's initials on the overcoat.
Wait a second. For somebody who's impeccably dressed, his overcoat doesn't seem like it's in the best of shape.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's not his. Oh, the seam on the shoulder is coming apart. Look.
So it is.
Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl, but I think that it was probably the sound of this seam ripping open.
If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and he wouldn't have hope of fastening it at the front. If we were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart.
Oh, it's too small. I'd like to see.
Sorry?
So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around then? Susie is so different.
She's really giving this some thought.
She really is very thinking outside the box kind of person.
The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the onset. When you so badly lied about your name, sir, and boldly waylaid this pickpocket, this catalogue of untruths has been all but one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Winterbank. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed.
Yeah.
Until now someone's probably going to steal it.
Yep.
You've probably made another aspect of this case. Bless you, honey. To steal the great exhibit's funds. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is truly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to filch some article of pawnage? You have forgotten that I redeemed the article in proper manner using the watchword. How do you explain that? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place? How could I... Amber, are you okay? How could I possibly have known for the relevant details, n'est-ce pas? But the watchword can be discovered. As you are well too aware, Mr. Benedict, and your figurative glance is more telling than I could have hoped for. What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. The method is revealed by the notice on the counter to which our eyes... blah blah blah.
The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think.
Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers, apparently. Which is a pity because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword.
Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Winterbank would never allow you to redeem the article.
Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Winterbank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow?
Yes. He could have, like, gotten angry at somebody and forced them to tell him the watchword. Baker Street Works is the title.
Ah, yes, it does mention the sewage works, Mr. Sholmes said. Oh! And specifically mentions tonight's sale at the confectionery shop on the corner.
Case solving first, confectionaries later, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, curse my overexpressive face.
Confectionaries would be like donuts and stuff, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Cupcakes, I think.
Look at this, Miss Susie.
It appears to be a memo that Mr. Windibank has scribbled to himself.
Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor! That's the watchword.
He wrote it down.
Mr. Windibank must have made a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And in an alarmingly clear script as well.
Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets that I might see? Well, you don't know who they belong to, though.
Take that!
The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a notelet with his hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But this diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in the shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windibank. Sorry, the words got jumbled, so he's never been here before, is what they meant. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword as his common practice, you observed him writing the word Professor on the notelet inside the ledger. Sharp eye. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan?
Wow. He waited 15 months for that, or weeks?
No, 2 months. Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from the pawn shop? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music disc. But naturally, you had very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us what we all need to know. The article we're talking about, the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets.
Which, according to Mr. Windibank, isn't even worth a penny.
And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why?
I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo.
Could we, really? I'd better have a look through all the evidence we've collected so far.
Well, let's see what maybe it's not his blood.
Look at the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny.
Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the comb that makes notes. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood.
Yes, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Egbert, probably.
Then Miss Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him. The pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating something like a daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger.
Ouch! Just thinking about it hurts. It puts me off eating radish. Oh, there's a note.
For McGilded. Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck onto the reverse side of the disc. Look! And scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. For McGilded?
McGilded? It couldn't be!
But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget as long as I live.
But why? Why is this name on this? The music box disc information has been updated in the court record.
Interesting. I don't understand what's going on at all.
You always have to examine before you present.
Oh.
You see, the music box tells us a very different story. What's that on the back? It reads for McGiddled. Ah! Mr. Magnus McGiddled, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in a curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his loaning mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGiddled was a man unusually small stature, in fact. He was precisely the right size of that overcoat that you squeezed yourself into. Ugh. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Egbert. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today... Yes... was to retrieve the article left behind by the late Magnus McGiddled. Tisk! Ah! And there we are. To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGiddled. Solved.
Interesting. But why would he give it to the Lestrade girl?
I don't know. I guess we will find out.
Yeah, he is wearing gloves, Rebecca, so I don't know why it would have cut his hand on it.
Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGiddled. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances.
Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind.
Pray tell, Miss Susie, what is it?
Well, according to what Mr. Windibank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it first was deposited. Well, today is the 15th of April, so 2 months ago today would have been the 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's clearly recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests...
Yes, the 15th of February is precisely the day in which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening. Precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding.
Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose, however. Whoa! I must insist you hand over the music box disc now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. It would be terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? Probably hand over the disc.
Absolutely not.
He could shoot me at any moment. I hate to give it, but what other choice do I really have here? Mr. Windibank! This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Windibank, no! Alright. I suppose that's enough.
Whoa.
Inspector Gregson! Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we've got here as fast as we could. Now, what's this all about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last! I was moments away from forfeiting my own life and my very own establishment.
Oh, wow.
It would seem you have the upper hand. Right. You lot have gotten some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy.
Petty? Mr. Windibank, you nearly met his end.
Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. You did draw a gun, but of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away!
No, get him!
After him, lads! Whistle the beat officers! Sir!
Oh my gosh, he's escaping.
Well, there's been a spat of thefts at the pawn shops around here recently. So I've been fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for bankers and brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there were a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Oh, yes? He's wearing black.
Yeah.
Be taking whatever it is McGiddles down to the yard. Thank you very much. Hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. Here you are.
No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine, it is! It's mine!
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGiddle has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, you have no choice but to give it to them. It's all yours, Inspector.
Yes, this game is pretty cool. Starshine, great to see you.
And so we handed Mr. McGiddle's disc over to the Inspector Gregson, and we were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. To be continued. Alright, that's it for... Whoa. Just in time, too. Guys, I'll be moving the time of the other stream to 8 o'clock. We have a massive thunderstorm that's rolling in, so we have to shut down our equipment post-haste.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know where the storm came from. It just kind of came out of the blue, but I'm hoping it's not tornado weather, but that's a lot of lightning, thunder, and all this other fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching today. We hope you guys had a lot of fun. The next stream will be starting up hopefully around 8:15. And then around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock will be the Superman stream, provided we don't lose power. But hopefully everything works out well, and we're going to get our equipment shut off. Thanks for watching. Hit up the playlist for more. And Ace Attorney will return tomorrow around the same time, 4:15, 4:30.
Yeah.
All right, guys. God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you with the continuation of the case tomorrow.
See ya.